Hey guys, it's Leon, the founder of Limitless Acquisition, and in this video, I will share with you the exact system that I've used to help several coaches and agencies create a stable and predictable pipeline of ideal clients. Now, this system is responsible for over $3.5 million in cash collected for my clients in the last 18 months across various industries. Now, only 8 weeks ago, I launched a brand new consulting offer that have since then taken from $0 to $40,000 per month using this exact same system. And I did it without spending $1 on paid ads, investing only about $300 on software, while only having about 500 YouTube subscribers and only about 1,000 Instagram followers, from which most of them are just friends, family, and people that I used to hang out with when I was still in school. In any case, not really my ICP. And currently, I'm on track to scale it beyond 100K per month in the next 3 to 5 months while automating and delegating most of the business. Now, I will share with you the exact steps that I will take to achieve this, which includes the what to do, how to do it, when to do it, where to do it, and how much of it to do. So you will have zero doubts on the implementation of it all. Now, I'm not going to claim that this is the absolute best system in the world ever, and if you don't get it right now, you'll die. But what I do know is that it's quite simple and easy to run, and it's worked exceptionally well for me and many of my clients. And I'd say this is perfect for you if you're a coach, an agency, or an info product business who's ready to achieve that stable, consistently growing month-to-month revenue so you can scale your income without sacrificing your personal life. Now, what will really put this system on steroids is the 7 proven client attraction triggers that will automatically pre-sell your prospects before they even get on a call with you. Now, I do have to warn you, these are powerful, and when you implement them correctly in your content and funnel, it can lead to quite easy and effortless sales calls where you don't need to do a lot of convincing or endless objection handling, or you have to throw these crazy guarantees just to get people across the finish line. And in ideal cases, it can even lead to DM closing, where your prospect sends you a message saying something like, "Yo bro, saw the video, looks sick, I'm ready, send me the payment link." Now, I do want to note a good portion of this system relies on metrics and messaging. So I'll also show you the exact numbers of what it will look like if you don't have these client attraction triggers in your funnel and if you do have these in your funnel. So first of all, to understand anything of what we need to do, we need to understand the numbers. If you want to effectively scale, especially beyond 50K a month or 100K a month, you need to know numbers. It just is what it is. Now, luckily, I made it very easy to understand. All of our prospects will have a certain buying temperature, and this basically means how willing they are to buy from you, how much they trust you, how much they see you as an authority. Extremely cold is somebody that doesn't know you, basically a stranger. Extremely hot is somebody that's a raving fan of you, that literally loves you, puts you on a pedestal, and when they meet you, they look like they're in love and they want to take pictures with you. Obviously, to make the most amount of money and to scale our business effectively, we need people to be as hot as we possibly can get them. There's a couple things that will increase the buyer temperature, but first let's talk about what the influence of this actually is. If you have no brand, no recognition, or anything to show that you're trustable and credible, all your leads are going to be cold. And this is what the numbers will look like. You will have a lead to booked call rate of about 1%, right? So 1 in 100 people that you reach out to will actually get on a call with you. Only 40% of these people will actually show up. So let's say you book 10 calls, only 4 people are really going to show up. 6 others are going to ghost you. Your show up to close will be about 15%. So let's say you get 100 people to show up on a call, only 15 of them are going to close. And then on average, they're only going to spend about $2,000 to $2,500 with you. And if they do not close and you book a follow-up call, only 15% of those people are going to show up, right? So as you can see, these stats are truly terrible. So if you back engineer the numbers and you see what it would take to make 100K a month, if you have freezing cold leads, it's going to take you about 666 calls, which equals reaching out to about 66,666 leads per month, which is pretty crazy, right? What would that look like on a daily basis? That means daily you need to reach out to 2,200 leads a day, and you need to be booking 22 calls a day. And I guess this is why all the gurus tell newbies and beginners to take ice baths, right? Because if you have no brand, no credibility, no social proof, the only way to get used to this freezing ice cold reality is probably by taking ice baths. Now let's move on to the warm leads. Let's say you have an okay funnel, right? You have some social proof, you have some testimonials, you have some videos that show, hey, this person is credible, right? you're immediately gonna 3x your lead to call booking rate. So if you reach out to 100 people, 3 people are willing to book in a call. Now from the 3 people that book a call, actually 2 out of 3 is gonna show up, right? And then 25% of these people is gonna close. So let's say again, you get 100 people to show up on the call, you're gonna get 25 new clients. The average spend upfront on the first call will be about $4,000. Out of the people that don't close and you book a follow-up call, 40% of them is gonna actually show. So when they say they need to think about it, a good portion of them is actually going to think about it. Now, what would that look like if we want to make 100K a month? That means we need to book around 167 calls, for which we need to reach out to about 5,555 leads. On a daily basis, you need to book 6 calls a day and you need to reach out to 185 leads a day. Now you can see how going from ice cold to just warm is already a huge increase. It already makes your work 10 times less hard. And that's all to just using this funnel, right? That I'm going to explain in a second, to build your brand, to increase buyer temperature. Now, what if we move on to hot? Your ice cold freezer will now be a nice bathtub. Your lead to booked call rate is once again gonna 3x. And this can get even crazier, but for average hot leads, you're gonna be booking around 10 people on a call. So if you reach out to 100 people, 10 of them are gonna be willing to book a call. Out of those 10 people, 8 then will show up. Out of those 8 people, you will then close about 3 or 4 of them, and they're willing to spend a lot more on the first call. So they're actually gonna give you quite a bit of their credit card, right? 7,500 on average. These numbers can be way bigger, obviously, depending on what you sell. Follow-up call show rate is actually going to be 60%, which is quite good. And so if we back engineer, what would it take to get to 100K a month having hot leads? It would only take about 42 calls. And that would mean we need about 420 leads with a lead to booked call rate of 10%. So on a daily, you'd need to book about 1 to 2 calls a day, and you'd need 10 to 20 leads a day. But it can get even better. Why? Because let's say you're Alex Hormozi, right? You could just book 1 call and have somebody pay you $100,000 for consultancy or just some work on their business, right? So this can get even crazier. And that is the strength of having a brand and increasing buyer temperature. The amount of money people are willing to spend with you by having an interaction with you goes up exponentially the more they trust you and the more they look up to you. Hormozi, 1 call, 100K close, 5 hours of consulting, right? But Hormozi a decade ago might only have gotten like $500 to consult somebody for 5 hours. So I hope you see how important it is to increase buyer temperature in our funnel. Now, how do we do it? For that, we use the Big 7. Now, all of this, right, all of what I'm going to explain next depends on what is your ICP and your offer. If you haven't figured this out, watch my other videos where I explain exactly how to find your ICP, how to find your offer. I will also link it in the description right here. But for this video, I will just assume you already know who is it you're talking to and what do you got for them. Why is this so important? Because that determines all the communication within our funnel. See, our funnel is just a way for us to communicate directly to our ideal client profile. What is it that we have for them and what value can we add to their life? And then we want to build trust, right? And we want to increase the buyer temperature. The only content we want to make as a business is the content that speaks to our ICP and that increases their buyer temperature, because that ultimately converts to money. In order to increase our buyer's temperature, there's 7 psychological triggers that we will use throughout our funnel to build trust and to build the motivation to take action and ultimately purchase our services or product. The Big 7 are, first of all, authority. Authority is basically the power you have over other people's behavior and decisions. And so in order to influence people's behavior and decisions, they need to listen to us. Now, people don't like to listen to people in general, but people like to listen to people when their life gets better because of it. So establishing authority is all about showing that you're somebody worth listening to. So in a way, authority is us showing or saying how awesome or how great we are. On the other hand, social proof is other people saying how amazing we are. So something like this.
Leon and Noah are 2 G's. They're one of the best people that I've ever worked with within my company. And if anything, that I can just see how much other people they've helped out, scale their businesses to 6 figures.
Right? In this case, somebody else is talking about how their experience with me was great, which is more credible than me telling that I'm great, right? Next is pain and desire. People want to move away from pain. People want to move towards pleasure. Or ICP has a problem and that problem causes them pain. Now, they want to fix that pain because people don't like pain. And so we bring them the solution for them to fix their problem, or we fix their problem ourselves. That way, they don't have to experience the pain anymore and they move towards pleasure, which is their desire. Lifestyle is all about what is the lifestyle I'm able to live because of my knowledge, because of the things I do. So if I help people building businesses, I can show how building a successful business leads to an amazing lifestyle. Value in education is about teaching our audience about the problem they're experiencing and then how to solve it. So in this video, right, I'm explaining how to build a 100K a month funnel. Next is exclusivity, which is basically urgency and scarcity, right? So we only have 3 spots left, or there's only 5 limited copies available. Stuff that is exclusive is most likely more valuable. And then lastly is curiosity, right? Curiosity is one of the best things ever in keeping attention. If you can keep people constantly on this thread of like, what's going to happen? What is he going to bring next time? What has he got for us, right? They will stay in your funnel. They will keep their attention on you, right? So it's extremely important that we also create curiosity. So authority, social proof, pain and desire, lifestyle, value and education, urgency and scarcity, and lastly, curiosity. These are the big 7. How do we create our funnel to have these psychological triggers installed in them and make people's buying temperature as hot as possible so we can scale our business extremely effective? Our first platform, which is also the best platform to market, is YouTube. YouTube is all about how knowledgeable are you or how entertaining are you. Now, since we're a business, we don't really care about how entertaining we are unless we're selling super low ticket candy or like Lunchlies or something. We sell high tickets, so we need really interested prospects who actually care about the stuff we talk about. To market YouTube extremely well, we're going to build content assets. Now, content assets have a specific structure to them. We can't just make random YouTube videos about whatever is in our mind, right? There's a couple things that are really important. First of all, who are you? Right? I want to know who is it that I'm buying from, right? Next, I want to know who do you work with? So what social proof do you have? Do you have any clients? Do people know you? Do people like you, right? I want to know. And then next is, why should I listen to you? Why should I listen to you is again about the authority and the social proof. And the last one is, what do you do for me? It's really just about the content itself. What is it that you're transferring over? Is it value? Is it knowledge? Is it wisdom? Is it just experiences, right? What is it that you got for me, right? So in this video, I'll show you a funnel. I'll give you everything you need to know about personal brand and how to sell really easy to your ICP. So that is the specific structure of the content assets. And then in those content assets, we want to make sure to install all these psychological triggers. Authority and social proof is quite easy, right? It's just showing results in your videos. Pain and desire is really easy. In our content, we want to speak about the pain that our ideal prospect has and the desires they have. Now, my ICP is somebody that wants to scale their business. So I might say things like, are you tired of having unqualified appointments? Right? That is me speaking to a pain. Are you tired of inconsistent revenue month to month? And do you just want a funnel that books appointments on autopilot and gives you your ideal clients on a silver platter? Right? That is me speaking to your pain and desire. The next one is lifestyle. In our content, we will also show lifestyle, right? So this is the life I'm able to live because of the business that I built. Now, to different ICPs, different certain lifestyles are going to be cool. It's also extremely important to remember that whatever lifestyle you're showing, you're attracting people that want that, right? So if I'm showing Lamborghinis, I'm going to attract a person who is very materialistic. If I show more stuff that is more like philosophical and sciencey, I'm going to attract people that like that stuff, right? So this is really important. Value in education is really easy, right? It's just explaining stuff that helps your ICP fix certain problems or clears up limiting beliefs they have, or anything that helps them further their journey in whatever it is that they want to achieve. Urgency and scarcity triggers people to take action now instead of later. Curiosity is about creating thought loops that are not finished. Oh, by the way, guys, I have something insane to tell you that is really gonna blow your mind, but it's gonna be at the end of this video. Let me first talk about this. So that's how you install these triggers in your content. In terms of input, YouTube is quite easy. Do 2 videos a week. It's quality over quantity these days. YouTube doesn't care as much anymore about I have to post every day. The algorithm is really optimized for understanding, hey, this specific individual video is really good, and pushing that out. Now, another cool thing about YouTube is advertising. I know people making $1 million a month just from their YouTube channel, and it's not even big channels. You don't need 100,000 subscribers subscribers, you can make 100K with literally 5K subscribers. If you make content that is so dialed in to your ICP, YouTube makes you able to target these people extremely well with retargeting through ads. And so your ads will be shown specifically to people who are interested in the content you make, which is, if you do it well, your ICP. So that's why YouTube is one of the most important assets to build, because it is the best way of advertising, it's the best way of nurturing, and it gets you the most bang for buck. If you don't know what content to make, here's a really easy cheat code. What we do is simple. We think of the 10 most common problems of our ideal prospect in your niche. Then you create videos covering these problems and their solutions. That's really it. So for client acquisition, it could be something like how to book more appointments. How do I get them to show up? So instead of thinking, oh, what video do I like to make or what inspiration do I got? Just make a list of the most common problems and then start covering those. Another one is limiting beliefs, right? What are the 10 most common limiting beliefs in your niche? And then start making videos about dissecting these beliefs and reframing them. Now, this goes for all content that we'll be making, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, or even email, whatever platform it is. When you communicate to your ICP, it will always be about solving their problems, and it will have these psychological triggers. For all the content we will be making, and don't worry, you're not going to be making content for everything and everyone, but for the content you will be making, it's very important that these psychological triggers are present. Next is Instagram. Instagram is really about how cool are you? It's kind of the high school of the internet, right? It's really about how attractive are you? How cool are you? What is your lifestyle like? We want to again cater to our ICP. So we will make posts that are interesting to our ICP. For example, I made a post, coaches and agencies, 11 mistakes to avoid to hit 15 to 30K plus months. Or this LinkedIn system gets us 10 to 20 clients every month in 1 to 2 hours a day without a personal brand, organic content, or paid ads, together with a couple images of Stripe payments and a calendar full of appointments. So to sum it up, Instagram is really about what's your life like, who do you know, and who likes you, right? It's social proof, social proof, social proof. That is what Instagram is. So that's also what we want to show. Together with YouTube, Instagram is really the superpower, right? If you just dominate these two platforms and you make sure to use these big 7, you are gonna make guaranteed a lot of money. What is the specific structure we want to run? Dream life pictures to your ICP, which is different to every single ICP, right? For my niche, it might be more traveling and being able to build a business and scale it and live your life. But if you're, for example, a fitness coach, right, it might be just pictures of being shredded. If you're a web design agency, you might show very beautiful landing pages and stuff like that. What we're going to leverage on Instagram is story sequences and boosted reels and posts, as well as outbound and inbound appointment setting. So for the input, we want to do minimum 1 story a day, for which we need lifestyle photos, videos, and good copywriting skills. If you don't know how to write good copy, here's the cheat code. Use these 7 and then write 1 specific sentence for every psychological trigger. Then we want to do 2 story sequences a week, and story sequences are really a couple stories in a row, so 4 or 5 stories where we install all these psychological triggers. So it might be something like, hey, here is Josh. Josh just booked 30 appointments in 3 days. And then in the next story, are you tired of a calendar that is completely empty? Are you tired of reaching out 500 times a day? Nobody answering you, everybody's ignoring you. Do you just want an automated system that gets you appointments on autopilot while you sleep? Then send me a message. We got 3 spots for 3 new clients who we will personally help scale to 100K a month, closing the doors in 72 hours. DM me start, right? That is a story sequence. So I usually would spread this copy out over 3 or 4 different stories. And then what's going to get us a lot of leads really easy is 1 post or reel a day. And then we want to boost the good posts and the good reels. So if one of our posts or reels does well, we're going to boost it and we're going to give it $10 to $200 a day in budget. Usually if you have a post like this, right, the LinkedIn post about getting clients in 1 to 2 hours a day, or this one which showcases one of our clients' results who signed 23 clients in 3 days, you will get a cost of around $2 to $5 per new follower. And all of these followers are leads, right, which you can then DM. And for that, we can DM them ourselves, or we can have an appointment setter or a VA or a combination of both. And then we also want to have these setters and VAs doing outbound. So we're going to create a couple new accounts. So we're going to have multiple accounts. And on every account, we can do about 50 DMs a day per account. $200 a day boost max, because $200 would equal around 100 followers at $2 per follower, or about 40 followers at $5 per follower. So in any case, we're gonna get between 2 and 100 followers a day from boosting our posts. And so if we don't wanna get blocked by Instagram in our DM, then we gotta make sure that we're not going over the limit of 50 DMs a day. If you have a bigger account, you usually have a higher limit, but nobody really knows how it grows or what the exact limit is. I've managed accounts that were able to send 200 to 300 DMs a day, but these were always over 100K followers. So if you're just starting out, I wouldn't advise that. But if you have an established account, you can always test it. If you get blocked once, it's not the end of the world. And then for outbound, in total, we want to do about 200 to 300 messages a day. So that would mean about 5 to 6 accounts, 3 to 6,000 new leads a month, right? Which is going to translate into about 60 calls. And then from the warm leads that come from the boosted reels and posts, we should be able to book around 10 to 40 calls a month per account. And then really important about outbound on Instagram is that you comment on the people's posts that you reach out to. If you don't comment on the people's posts that you reach out to, your response rate is going to be anywhere between 0 and 5%. If you do comment on the people that you reach out to, your response rate is going to be about 40 to 60%. What would I comment if I would reach out to somebody? Let's say I'm reaching out to this guy. On this photo, I might be like, bro is living the life, love the Megalodon in the back. By the way, shot you a DM. I'll put the compliment first and I'll make that the biggest part of the message. And then I'll say to them, oh, PS, I DM'd you. That way, it doesn't look like a spammy outreach message, right? It actually looks like this guy genuinely looked at my profile and genuinely saw my profile. I've seen people comment, hey, DM'd you. Again, your response rate will stay between 0 and 5%, right? Because it just looks like spam. That's what we want to do on Instagram. And then for our whole funnel, it's really good if we have 6 lead magnets. 6 lead magnets, good lead magnets, not bad lead magnets. No lead magnet is better than bad lead magnets. Imagine you're walking down the street and there's a restaurant, and in front of the restaurant is a waiter, and he has a platter giving out free food samples to the bypasser. And so he gives you a sample for you to taste, and you take a bite, but it tastes awful. Are you gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna go to this restaurant later? No, right? Because it tasted awful. But let's say he gave you a food sample and you were like, oh my God, this is amazing. You're going to say to your friend, let's go in here. We need to eat here, right? Because it tasted so good. And that's exactly the same online, right? If we give somebody a lead magnet and it sucks, they're not going to buy from us because they're going to assume that the lead magnet was made with the same intention, quality, and effort as your real product. So never give out shitty lead magnets. How do we do a good lead magnet? The 10 common problems that we talked about with YouTube content assets, that's the same thing we can apply here, right? Solve a very specific problem so that they have a piece of the puzzle and they're like, oh my God, Leon helped me put this piece of the puzzle and it was put together really well. So if I ever need help completing a full puzzle, I know who to go to. And that's going to be you. LinkedIn is awesome because we're able to pull out 30K a month in profit just from LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is really about how credible are you? What results do you have? What do you know? Who have you helped? And why are you credible, right? So we want to have a good banner, good profile picture. Make sure that this is not you on a festival. If there's one thing I see with successful entrepreneurs is they all just have a clear profile picture. Now, even this one is not my favorite because I'm looking to the side, but it was taken with a very professional camera. So on LinkedIn itself, you can see even more detail and it is a very high quality picture. But yeah, have something where you're looking in the camera and you either smile or you just look serious or just something normal, right? Something like this. This is perfect for LinkedIn, right? This is also amazing. So for example, these are amazing for LinkedIn. And even these are quite good, right? Because at least from this photo, you know, okay, this guy's ripped. He's going to get me in shape. This guy is on stage. He has an audience. He's a public speaker. So your profile picture has to speak professionalism or at least some kind of dream outcome that you would like to achieve. Banner, very clear. What do you do for me? A calendar full of your ideal clients. Perfect. And then your headline, right? Revolutionizing the way coaches get clients. LinkedIn is all about connection requests, quality over quantity, outbound and inbound, and organic content. For our content, it's going to be really easy, right? We're just going to repurpose our YouTube and Instagram content. The cool thing about LinkedIn is that we're able to target our ICP extremely well through the Sales Navigator. The Sales Navigator is like Google for your ICP. You can literally type in specifically the person you want to reach, connect with them, and then send them a message. On LinkedIn, there's a specific mechanism that only allows you to connect to about 25 new people a day. So we want to make sure to maximize that every day. Don't miss a day right? Connecting with new leads. It's really important because they don't add up. So it's not like if we wait 30 days, now we can connect to like 700 people. No, it's just on that 30 date, we still can only connect to 25 people. So this is really important, right? That we max these out every day. Assuming that about 50% of these people accepts us, we can send about 50 new messages a day to new leads. And then we want to follow up about 7 times. Yes, that's right, 7 times. Why do we follow up so much? It's really easy. Our prospect is busy. It's a surprise, but most humans have an actual life that they live. And so they're not sitting there in their inbox waiting curiously for your outreach message to hit them. And actually, from statistics, I have seen that it's about only 40% of people that book a call that actually responded to the very first message. Most of the booked calls you're gonna get is gonna be from following up. Some people might be scared. What if I follow up too much and then they get annoyed and then they block me? Well, if they do that, it's most likely that they weren't gonna buy from you anyway. So I rather have somebody get angry because of my follow-ups and block me than miss out on all the people that would have bought if I kept following up. On LinkedIn, we use the same outbound structure as on Instagram. 2 setters/VAs each needs their own account. And then the same thing, max out connection requests every day and send 15 plus new messages every day. And that should get you about 60 to 100 warm, qualified calls every month per account. And then we get to Twitter. Now, personally, I'm not a big fan. I don't really use Twitter. There's so much craziness going on there. But there's so many people making a lot of money on Twitter, and there's a lot of qualified leads as well on Twitter that are very easy to find, because once you are in a certain niche, it's very easy to connect with other people in that niche. Twitter is absolutely about how insightful and how witty are you. And it revolves around what is your opinion on current trends, what are your wins, what can I learn from you, and what conversations are you leading. Just like with LinkedIn, and I absolutely failed here, make sure to have a good banner. Like I said, I don't use Twitter. You don't need all platforms to make money. I just wanted to show every single platform. Follow and engage, outbound, organic content, and lead magnets. And for Twitter, it's really about tweet replies, especially if you're small, right? Make sure to engage with other people and make valuable comments on the tweets of the industry leaders in your niche. That's how you're able to get a lot of exposure really easily. 3 tweets a day on your own, right? Make a couple of threads as well. And then repurpose your IG plus YouTube content. Then we use the same outbound structure with 2 setters and a VA. And I do want to note, these are not all different teams of setters and VAs. These can all be the same 2 setters or the same 2 VAs or a combination. 100 DMs per account. It's a lot higher than Instagram and LinkedIn. And then you should be around 200 messages a day per account. And that should also get us around 60 calls. All of these platforms should lead to one single thing, and that is a Calendly or your website. If you have a website, the website really answers the questions, why work with me? Who are you? Who do you work with? Why should I listen to you? And how can I start? This is the really important one. So that's where we have a call to action, and that allows people to book in an appointment. You don't need a website. I remember we scaled to about 30K a month with only a Calendly, no website, right? So you don't need one per se. And then email is really important, right? If you have a website, you can have an opt-in. So once you make your organic content and you tell people about your lead magnet, they're able to opt in, give you their email, and then you give them the lead magnet. And then we can use email to remarket to them with our products. We have their unlimited attention. Now, a lot of people think, oh, who reads emails? It's not only about reading emails. It's the fact that you show up in their inbox every other day, right? Every other day, they're reminded of your name. And that alone is already enough to nurture people. So there you have it, guys. This is how you create an extremely optimized funnel. Now, how do we scale this funnel from 100K to a 1 million a month? It's a really simple answer. Ads, right? Scale revolves around multiplying volume and building systems to support that volume. In theory, we could make 20 Instagram accounts and do 1,000 DMs a day. The thing is though, how are you going to support that? Are you going to have a team of setters? Are you going to do automations, right? And how are you going to choose between quality or quantity? So that is what scaling is, building systems to support volume. And ads makes it extremely easy because the only thing we need to scale is the budget. So we don't really need to do any effort to increase input. The only thing we need to do is build a backend system to support the volume that's going to come in through the ads. And that is the way people scale beyond 1 million a month. Now, another thing that's really important, I wouldn't advise you to do ads if you don't have any of this installed. If you don't have a brand, right, everyone that's going to come into your Facebook ads is going to come from the North Pole, right? They're all going to be freezing cold, and you're going to have to spend a lot of money to get a client in, right? Because you have no trust, no credibility. So as we build our brand, ads start to exponentially perform better, because the people that come from ads, they don't have to buy the first day, but at least they get to know you. And once they follow you, right, maybe 6 months later, or maybe even 2 years later, they buy from you. In any case, they got nurtured through your funnel and through your content and through your presence. And it makes sense. If we go back to the foundations of a business, what is a business? It's 3 things: marketing, sales, and service delivery. Marketing is about getting attention on your service or product. Sales is about converting this attention into customers or clients. And then service delivery is about retaining and ascending these clients. So really, marketing is the big thing, right? Getting the attention. But the cool thing is that marketing and sales are intertwined. Some people are converted just because of marketing, especially if you have a big brand and a big presence. So the better you market, the easier your sales, the hotter your leads, the more money they give you. So once you have an established brand, that's when we put the ads behind it. Does that mean you have to become Alex Hormozi? Absolutely not, right? If you make a good YouTube channel with about 20 to 30 videos explaining the specific common problems in your niche, helping people with that, showing you're knowledgeable and capable, people are able to be nurtured already extremely well. Remember, your ICP wants to fix a problem. They're not looking for a celebrity. They just want to get from A to B, and they need a solution to help them solve the problems that they're facing. That is all. And that is what makes you money. All right, did I miss anything else? I hope this video was very valuable to you. Goodbye. By the way, I got a free profit calculator that will allow you to put in your monetary goal and the pricing of your packages, and then it will automatically calculate how many leads you need, how many calls you need, and all the numbers, so you know exactly what to do in your business. If you want that, DM me calculator on Instagram and I'll send it over.